Mm,
No, it's not deluxe accommodations, but it
no.
fits that environment. It needs to be what that is because it just wouldn't be the same if it was any different. It was just
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday. Someday. All right, guys. We're about to go live in about 1 minute. Tonight's episode, Geocaching Adventures LLC. We have a nice lady, Denise Canavan, right?
Correct.
You want to say caravan, you'd be wrong. It's Canavan.
But I'll put
Denise
you in a
Canavan,
caravan.
right? Denise Canavan. Tonight, talking about Geocaching Adventures LLC. You guys want to follow along, geocachingadventuresllc.com. Do you want to check out our site before this show starts? It is 8:30 though. So Chad, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Denise, I'm gonna throw you on mute here, but don't go away, okay?
Okay.
Don't go away. All right, Chad, you ready?
I'm ready.
Jess, you ready to go?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it? Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. Come on, take a chance now. Go, geocache, geocache. If you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash. On the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name is Scott Burks. I'm joined by Short and into the next room. And please welcome to my virtual left, my buddy and co-host, Jazz427.
Howdy, y'all. Are you ready for your next geo trip?
Next Geo Trip, Chad. Tonight's episode 704, recorded live on February 9th, 2022, is Geocaching Adventures LLC discussion. Guys, phone lines are now open. So give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. And for you international callers, you can call us free via the web at callinstudio.com/show/GCPC.
Okay, before we get into the patron talk, I want to apologize to people for Saturday because I'm
For
already
what,
getting
Chad? What do you mean?
questions in here.
What?
So for missing the show, I had a massive headache and I laid down to take a short nap before the show, and I woke up a couple hours later. And my phone was in a different room, so when Scott texted me,
Numerous times.
I didn't hear it, and so I apologize. Yeah,
We needed you.
Yeah,
It was
Oh,
it
was
was
it a tough one?
rough. It was rough.
I'm sorry.
And thank goodness our chat room pulled through and came up with the solutions. It was rough
Oh,
though.
that's
Yeah, they
good.
were good. They were good. Chad was really good. Chad, before we
Patrons.
start the show. So, Chad, we accept your apology. I personally just think you have better things to do, but I don't judge. I'm not here to judge you. Only God can judge you and your decisions that you make, not I.
Yes.
Although nice shirt. I'm judging you on that shirt. Well done. Chad, we got to talk about Patreon. Guys,
Mhm.
every week we talk about this. How much money it costs to work this show. There's two ways you could help this show out. You can join us on PayPal, make a one-time donation at paypal.me/the geocaching podcast, or my good man, you can
Mhm.
join Patreon. Chad, what do you get for Patreon?
You can get you get a pat tag, you get stickers, you get extra video, extra audio, and a bunch more that you remember because you tell us stuff and I don't.
That's right. You even get a coin. So, Chad, I got an email from Geo Karen out of Denmark. Chad, Denmark shoots me an email. Geo Karen says, she basically said, I've been catching up on shows. I just got to the point with the Geo for the patron coin. Are there any left? I said, Karen, there's a few left.
A few.
Literally less than a handful. And I'm dead serious, guys. And so, boom, platinum member. Geo Karen out of Denmark. So welcome,
Sweet.
Geo Karen, to the other side, to the Patreon, to the paywall, to the better side. Welcome. We also got Pez Gremlin back after hiatus from Westchester, Illinois. Chad, I love when they go away and then they come back.
Yes.
Slytherin Zach from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, back after a hiatus. I love when they always come back, Chad. You know why? Because we talk about the videos they can't resist.
Now I got to pull those up on the
We got
map.
another one coming up.
Another one.
A video coming up soon. We have to actually record it first, but
Yeah,
we're planning on doing that.
Yeah.
I will be back.
Okay, go ahead. Yes. We got the Geo King from Apple Valley, Minnesota. Upped his to a gold star, Chad. Gold star status. Love those gold star status.
Awesome.
And then we've got Geo Karen out of Denmark. Platinum star status. Getting the Geo coin. I got to ship it to Denmark, Chad.
Denmark.
So, guys, you want to become a patron, you got the other side of the paywall. There goes Jess. You join us on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
I guess I'm gonna have to do Jesse's part, Chad.
We
It's
can
gonna
go back
it's gonna be
to
old school.
We'll go back to old school rotation.
Old school. All right, go ahead.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
And tonight we're also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook designed for the micro containers for the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go cache than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Begone soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Arted Crafted. Arted Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL. If you have an idea for a shirt design and cannot find it, you've come to the right place. Please give us the opportunity to show you how we can enhance your caching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com.
And finally, by pattags.com. For all your swag and pat tag needs, visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pat tags. With over 43,000 tags to collect, pattags.com is everything you need to start your pat tag obsession. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com.
And as always, Chad, you can find links to our sponsors on our website or
in our show notes.
Chad.
Mm-hmm.
So many things to get to, including Denise. Hold on one more second. So Chad, the host Travel Bug Race, Jesse's in Yuma. She's getting pictures galore and everything. It's crazy what's going on with Jesse.
So, see, Gary needs to GB's needs to pick it up and then take a trip
Bring it back to California.
Chicago.
No, bring it back to California. Get it away. So I don't know where Chad's is. I don't know. Mine hasn't done anything. So yours is just.
Mine's gone. It's gone.
It's
in someone's house. You know, or hanging on their rearview mirror.
So, Chad. So this is all travel bug related here, guys. Second thing in the news here, my travel bug hotel. Did you see? Did you get the alert?
No,
you don't have a watch on my.
I don't have a watch on your TB hotel. No, I've got a watch on your multi that our exchange multi.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so do I. Yeah, I both of those. Well, so my travel bug hotel. The guy's the one. Get off my porch. The travel bug hotel on our front porch at our house in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Just won from the Travel Bug Hotels of America the 5 Bug Award, its highest rating.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I guess there's a Travel Bug Hotels of America. And I think I might have applied for it like a year ago. I think we talked, might have been on the show, and I literally did it on the show where I I don't remember, but
Is
yeah.
that like a Facebook page
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Or?
It is. If you go to the actual web page, it's GC8. Oh my goodness, I can't. GC840A3. That's the Get Off My Porch. I have the link on there for the Travel Bug Hotel of America. But yeah, I won. How about that?
Sweet.
Now it gets on their own Google Map or whatever, so you could yeah. All right, Chad. One more thing, and then we're gonna bring in Denise here.
Oh, hang on. Travel bug related here.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at Chad winning. Look at you.
So I got another snag the tag yesterday
Well
actually.
done, sir. There you go.
So-
Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So, Chad, do you remember we've numerously talked about travel bugs on this show?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what my first travel bug is? I've mentioned it numerous times. How I loved the travel bug. I hated to give it back. My first travel bug back in 2008 that I ever found in the wild in a cache.
Right.
Do you recall it?
I recall mine. I don't recall yours.
You don't
no.
remember what mine was.
No.
Okay, that's fair. I wasn't expecting you to.
Do you remember what mine was? Because I've said it on the show
No,
too. So
No, I don't.
okay, that's fair.
Okay. So mine, Chad, the first travel bug I ever found was a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon travel bug.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a coin. Excuse me, a coin, not a travel bug, a coin. Okay. So and I was in love with it.
Right.
It was beautiful. It was a Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, first trackable. My first trackable was a GeoCoin as well.
Yeah. So, and this was literally in 2008. I think it was if not 2008, early 2009, but I think it was 2008. It was a couple months after I started. So I loved it, and occasionally I look on eBay to see if there's one to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, I found one.
You found one?
I found one, and I bought it.
Oh man.
And it's now in my inventory, guys. I'm going to give it to you.
I would love that because I love
this
that. I love that album.
Coin. Look at there you go. Can you read the numbers there? Grab the numbers, screenshot that bad boy.
Oh,
There you go. Everybody log it.
PC 6Q9.
Wait, Chad, hold on. Wait, Chad, hold on. You go check this bad boy out. Look at that. All in all, it's just another cache in the wall, dude.
Oh man.
Look at that. Is that just beautiful?
Now, see, that is the album. So when I was testing audio equipment, that is the album, my go-to album.
Yeah,
for testing audio equipment.
I have a story for this album, but I'll tell you offline. But yeah, so I couldn't. I spent way too much money on it, but I'm like, Jesse's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, it's my first one. I have to."
I didn't even know they existed. That one existed. Otherwise, I would have been searching for it. But my first one was the Dragon Spinner. So I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like kind of like a I want to say Chinese. It looks like a dragon with the old Rot 32 built into it. Yeah. And so I bought one a couple of years after when I saw it at a mega event. So
yeah. So this one is going into my my collection, my thing.
Now you got me wanting to go find one.
Right? So yeah, yes. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. So I finally got it. Yeah. So it's nice that and it's as amazing as I remember it. It's as beautiful as I remember it. So all right, Chad. On to the show now. Jesse, welcome back.
Hey, thanks.
All right, guys. Tonight's show is Geocaching Adventures LLC, and we have got Denise Canavan. There we go. I got it right. Denise Canavan on the show. Denise, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm well, thank you.
Denise, let's start with you. Just you. I'm assuming you're a geocacher. I'm going to assume.
Yes, I've been a cacher since 2005. I'm shizengiggles. But if you look at my stats, I will say they are dismal because just like I was as a student, I don't do homework. So can't, if I wasn't able to log it right then and there, I
Mhm.
don't go home and do it later.
Right.
I love geocaching for where it takes me and the things I see and the people I meet, but I'm not diehard about, oh, how many do I get? And I got to get my stats. That's not
Mhm.
me.
Mhm. All right. Well, so tell me your story. Let's talk about. So let me start with this by saying, I saw Denise. I think I saw you on social, and I'm like, oh, that's actually really interesting what she does. And so I contacted Denise. I'm like, hey, I would love to get you on the show. And she said, absolutely. Here she is. I was originally, it was going to be a cash or coffee. I was going to give her 5-10 minutes, and then they went to her site, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a whole show. So, and she said, she was gracious enough to say, sure, yeah, come on, yeah, I'll come on. So Denise, tell us your story. How'd you get started with this? Because this is pretty unique.
So my husband and I would go on cruises and we travel. And when we'd go to a port that we didn't really want to do anything, we just wanted to maybe go get a few caches. So we would look to see where they were. And it just became problematic in some places to go out and get them without hiring a car or doing all that. You could only get the ones right around the port area. So I decided when I decided to change my profession and become a travel agent, they said to come up with a niche. And I, right away, it was like, that's a no brainer. I'm going to organize geocaching adventures. And that was back in 2011. So I've been doing it for over 10 years.
Wow.
Yep. And my first destination was Bermuda, and reached out to the number one geocacher in the world at the time, Alamogel, and said, how would you like to help me put together a geocaching adventure to Bermuda? And then I reached out with a woman that had just moved there. So that was my first one, and it just boomerang from there. And, I have a lot of return clientele. I do at least 6 or 7 a year. And we go all over the world, all over the world.
So you take these trips as well? Do you take these trips?
Absolutely. I pick where I want to go, and then I invite you people to come with me.
Okay, so let's. That's amazing. I love the fact that you like the geocache, and this is your job, and let's combine them. How come I can't combine my job with what I love to do?
Think
Sure.
about it. You can figure it out. You'll figure it out.
That's a great idea, and you've been doing and just for doing it over 10 years. Obviously, you're doing something right.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take an example here. So walk me through how you decide where to go and what to do, and the process of what you do.
A lot of it is, some of it is where I want to go, and some of it is, I've got a lot of clients now, a lot of geocachers. So I go to them and say, what's on your bucket list? And let's figure it out. And I work with different people, and I've got people coming up all the time. Have you thought about doing Alaska, or have you thought about doing this place? And I'll say, okay, you get me some people and I'll put it together for you. So once I decide where I'm going to go,
Like
then
Bermuda,
like
Bermuda.
Well,
Okay.
Bermuda, actually, they got smart. And the woman that I had reached out to had just moved there, but she hooked up with the Bermuda Tourism Bureau, and they ended up setting up a geo tour on Bermuda.
Wow.
It's now no longer, it's no longer viable, unfortunately. But
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it had a really nice coin, but so I would organize a trip there. I'd hire a guide to take us around, and we'd do 2 days of just going. It's 20 cache geo tour, and we'd just go from one part of that island to the other part of the island, and getting caches along the way and seeing the highlights of what the destination is. So what I like my tours to be is, it's not, if you're a numbers cacher, my tours probably aren't going to be good for you, because I'm trying to get a venue where a non-cacher might be able to, go with a cacher, and they'll both enjoy the trip. So it's going to be half about the highlights of the destination and half about getting some caches along the way. So everybody comes away happy, and you get to geocache, and your family member or friends that get to spend some time with you, and it's kind of merging the experience.
so it's, for lack of a better term, it's a guided tour, more or less.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And it depends on the destination that we go to. So that's a cruise to Bermuda. So then I do others, like we're doing the Baltics. So the Baltics will start in, that one starts in Copenhagen, and it's going to go through let's see where that one ends in Stockholm, Sweden. So every day I will set up a geocaching highlight excursion at each port, but we'll also maybe do an add-on in the beginning. So this one, we're going to go to Amsterdam first, and spend an extra day in Copenhagen, and then we'll get on the ship and do the tour. And then at the end, on the way home, we're going to stop in Iceland on the way home. So we'll end up getting about 11 countries on that trip, and everybody
11?
gets check the box.
Right.
How long is that trip? Just out of curiosity, how long is it?
That one is going to be 15 days.
15 days.
Yeah, but you don't need to do it all. I mean, if you only got the 9 days, you can just focus on the primary part of the tour. But a lot of people think that if I'm going there, if I'm going to fly all the way over there, I'm going to try to get the most out of it because I don't know if I'm going to go back. So I'll kind of stack it front and back. So
wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That is a wow trip. That is an amazing trip.
Yeah.
Chad, any questions for this lovely woman? I have so many.
Oh, I mean,
I want to keep shooting at them. So
please do.
so,
I just put Bermuda back on the list because they canceled my May trip to the Med. So I put Bermuda's on the list now. April 29th, we're leaving for Bermuda to do. There's 230 caches on that island, so we're going to go try to get as many of them as we can.
So I'm loving the idea that it is not 100% caching based, because that's something that my gets the wife approval factor from my wife, who's not a geocacher.
Absolutely.
So, that's great.
And I have a lot of people that come on the trip that aren't even cachers. I mean, literally, I have couples that come that just like where we go and the little extra bonuses that you get with geocaching that the average tourist wouldn't get. And it's like, oh yeah, we're going to go again. Which is so.
Okay, so and you were mentioning to me earlier before we got on there that trips were getting canceled. I'm assuming, is that due to COVID that the trips are getting canceled?
Yes. Well, the May trip was canceled. We did the Galapagos, so we are traveling. We did the Galapagos and Machu Picchu, and that one went off fine, and that was in November. But the cruise line decided to bring the ship that we were going on to the Caribbean instead of the Mediterranean. They said, we're pleased to announce that we're moving that ship from the Mediterranean. I'm like, who's pleased? I've got 28 people that were planning on going to the Mediterranean. So everybody just kind of said, well, let's just hold. Let's do it. So we're going to do it next year instead.
So like when you go to places like the Galapagos, which I believe is off of the coast of Ecuador, do you fly into Ecuador and then boat
Quito.
out, or take a charter plane out, or
I know we fly into Ecuador, into Quito, and then you do take a flight over to one of the islands, the bigger island of the Galapagos, and then from there, I have a private chartered yacht that I do that one with. It's a 16-passenger yacht, and we go onto the yacht, and every day we're going off and getting caches in the Zodiacs and doing snorkeling. It's an amazing trip.
Chad, she might have more countries than you in terms of.
I'm sure she does. So the only person I would question if she didn't have more than it might be Gary, who's he's 80 something, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at 68.
Closer.
68. Yeah. Wow.
She's cached in more countries than I've been to. So okay.
For the record, I'm at 2.
It's an amazing world out there. It's an amazing world. Get out and see it. They need us.
So let's talk about again. So you have a Bermuda. I'm just going to bring up the Bermuda trip again. So you have this Bermuda trip. Now, how do you do people come to you, or are you pushing out to people? How do you get people to join you? Obviously, I'm assuming by now you have a nice group of people, but how are you getting it out there? What are you doing?
I've got a Facebook page, and then I've got my website, and I probably have about at this point about 200 geocachers, and they get the word out for me too. And I was doing some events, not as many as I should. but before COVID, I had a whole nother business. I mean, I had my travel agency. I own a travel agency, so I had that. But since COVID, I've decided I'm not doing my travel agency anymore. I've closed. I'm working from my home right now, my trailer, and and I'm just concentrating on the geocaching adventures. So I didn't have time to push it as much before because my other business was so crazy busy. So now I have more time to do it. So that's my focus.
Now, when you're planning these trips, do you like go and scour and select the geocaches, or do you get inputs from the people who are going to be traveling, or is it a mix of it? And do you do mysteries and puzzles, or?
Yes.
Sorry, that's a lot in there.
A lot of that. So what I do is I create a Facebook page for each of the destinations that we're doing. Once people sign into it, they're invited to the Facebook page.
Nice.
And then I ask them to do the homework for the geocaches. I said, I'm going to put together all the rest of it. You guys figure out if there's anything in particular that you want to go get. You know, we will usually target favorites, oldest, and some people will go and solve the mysteries. We have a general idea what the highlights we're going to go see, so they kind of work them around the highlight areas. But we do try to focus on some of those, like the favorites and things of that nature, and the oldest.
So,
in most countries.
do you ever get the odd person on board as, "Ooh, there's a cache over here," or just one more?
Oh, geez.
One more itis.
Do any of you know Alamogul?
Yes.
So it's like, stop! There's a cache. It's like,
Yes.
stop,
Yes.
we're on the highway.
I know him. Yeah.
We've got a big bus. We can't pull over right here. So yes, everybody has to have their expectations. So if we're doing a tour that we have a night, a free nights, I usually will make arrangements for those people that are diehard cachers and need to go get more. And we'll make those arrangements for them to go out and get their fill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so how many trips do you do a year? Do you have an average, or?
Usually around 6 to 8 trips a year.
6 to 8. Wow, really?
Yes.
That's a lot.
And that's a little variety. Some cruises, some air, some driving.
Yes. Most of them are, it's about half and half cruise and land right now.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of trips. You travel a lot.
A lot of work.
Do you go on all of them? Are you on all of them?
Most of them. I don't do Brazil anymore because I have 2 guides that do it perfectly, and they don't need me there. They don't need me there to go. Okay, I'm going to go to them to ask them the question anyway. So now the guests can just go to them.
Right.
I've done it 3 times. I don't need to do it anymore. I totally trust them with it. So that
probably some locals that speak Portuguese.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not an easy place to go.
Yes.
If you don't, because unlike most countries, they don't teach English as a second language. So it's hard to find people that speak English.
Really?
Right. I had to use a translator app and stuff, and I thought my Spanish was okay, but then I'm trying to work with Portuguese, which has similarities in there, but I'm sorry, it doesn't sound the same at all.
No. So it definitely makes it easier.
And so you go, so say you do 6 to 8 trips a year. How many of those trips are the same trip from year to year to year? Like, do you go to Brazil every year? Is that like a standard? Is that a lot?
Brazil, I tried to do that one. If I have the demand for it, I will do it. I've skipped a few years on it, but if people come up and, particularly with COVID, that just created a whole nother.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah. Did you take 2020 off? Were you doing trips in 2020?
We did, no, I did one. In a word, no. We had just got back from Hawaii when it all hit.
Right.
So,
it's terrible. Wow.
Yeah, it's 2 years of my life that just, and everybody's life that just gone.
And for you, who's
Right.
such a traveler, must have been driving you crazy to be so sedimentary.
It was, and it's also my income.
And your income. Yeah, I did it wrong again.
Yeah, the word is sedentary,
Sedentary.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
sedimentary.
I always-
Totally different thing.
It's not an earth cache.
That's not an earth cache.
Yeah. But it's looking good. I mean, the world's coming around. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get back there, and we're gonna get back out and do it. People are. I mean, it's just everyone's gonna have their comfort level.
And you take most of these trips, which is awesome. That's incredible. And do you go caching too with them, or do you not even? cache?
Absolutely.
Oh, do you?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, if I can't log it right then and there, it's not going to get logged.
So is
And
it
I'm
frustrating? Is it frustrating when you go to the same caches, or do you not go to the same caches? Like if you take the same trip again, like you've said, you've done the caches there.
They're usually a little slightly different. I try to add stuff even for me so that it doesn't get stale. And I
Mhm.
do have people that come back and do the same trip again. So I try to take it up a notch. Like Alaska, we've done 5 times. But
Mhm.
every time I've added something different to it so that it just adds another little bonus to it, another little,
Nice.
Nice.
yeah, it's
So,
Yep.
so your trips, there's a cost involved. What does that include? What does that trip include with the cost?
depends on the trip. But because they're all custom trips.
Mhm.
So usually the cruise will include the cruise, and then I will give optional tours for each day, and then I'll give the optional pricing for the pre and the post. So it would include the hotels, the transportation, everything. Some meals we'll pay as we go, and then people can pick and choose what they want to do. Most people just say, "Yeah, I'll do it all." Just let's just go.
Just go. You tell me where to go. I'll go. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, guys, 10 years she's been doing this. This isn't like a new venture. This is 10 years. So it works.
And my return ratio is about 70% return.
Amazing.
And the ones that don't, I think, just get out of geocaching. Or they just go off and do other things. So, yeah, my return ratio.
Ridiculously jealous of you. Ridiculously jealous of you that you get to do this. That's crazy. It's crazy.
I work hard at it. So,
I know.
and right
that's
now,
awesome.
travel is a challenge right now.
Oh, that's got to
Sure.
be the most frustrating part. But even planning trips, I mean, come on, planning geocaching trips, that'd be fantastic. Like, where do I want to go this year? You know,
It is.
like,
It is.
oh, man, living the charm life, honey. I hope you
It
know
is.
you're living the
Yeah.
charm life.
So come on and join us.
I know. So you do take requests. If I say to you, hey, I want to go to Israel, like, would you say, all right, find a couple people and let's go?
We're
Is that what you're
going.
saying? I'm sorry, you're already going there.
We're going there.
I
in
literally just
October.
threw that out. Like, you're
Yeah.
going.
Egypt, Jordan, Petra, Israel, Morocco. And the pre-add-on to that one is Kenya.
Wow.
Wow.
And
So
how
I
we're
haven't
long
going
been to Kenya or I haven't been to Kenya or Morocco. So
You've been to the others?
been to the others.
Well, good.
But
Then
before,
I'll
but
pick your
before
brain.
geocaching.
You should go pick your brain on where to go. This is before. It's all before
Yeah,
geo.
yeah, it was
That's
all
a-
before
that's a world traveler,
geocaching.
just not
Oh,
with
Or
see, now you
before
have-
I was geocaching.
So you need to go back.
I need
There's
to go
no
back,
doubt about it.
yes.
That's why I said it doesn't count if you didn't catch there. It totally doesn't count.
Yeah, we've got a river cruise on the Nile for 3 nights. So
All right, so let's
Yeah.
talk about this year. Tell me about this year. Tell me about 2022. Where are we
okay,
going?
so
Where are we going? 2022.
So we've got Southern Caribbean first. We're doing in March. We're leaving from Barbados in 7 days. We're in a new port every day. So that's a cruise on Royal Caribbean. Then we're doing Bermuda in April. Then we're doing the Baltics in July. Then Brazil in September. South Africa in September and October. Egypt in October. Those are going to be back to back for me. So I'm going to be a little over a month in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a while, but it's a long flight. So it made sense just to do them back and back.
To stay there.
Yes, to stay there. And then I'm working on next year. We've got the Mediterranean that we'll be doing. Then going back to the Galapagos. Panama Canal, and Ireland in the UK. So
Trips
far,
first.
yeah.
Wow.
So far, that's what we have.
See, that's the one. The Ireland one would be the one that my wife would want to go on.
That's a great one. We do the whole circumference of Ireland, and it's really that's a nice trip. Get the oldest in Europe,
Yep.
just south of
Dublin.
Thank you.
Yeah, right down the coastline.
That
Are these-
right
are these-
there.
Are these generally like a week to 2 week trips? Is that what they generally are? Is it usually
That one, the Ireland one will be 12 days.
12 days? Wow.
No, 10 days. I'm sorry. That one's 10 days.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this, Denise. What's the favorite trip you've ever taken? Your favorite?
South Africa.
South Africa. Why?
Oh, South Africa by far. Oh, it just the whole thing about South Africa. It's very eye-opening, very humbling. The animals, the people. I mean, the kids, their smiles are so infectious. You know, they've got nothing and they're happy. You know, you just want to just take kids today and go see, like, look at this. And the animals, I mean, the National Geographic moments, this actually is a National Geographic tour that we do. And we had National Geographic moments where we're in a Jeep and all of a sudden there's an elephant in front of us knocking over a tree, just kind of rocking it back and forth until pushing it over with his trunk, and it finally falls across the road. So we had to go to another path. And another place we had, all of a sudden the guide, we come up to we had two Jeeps. We were the second Jeep, and we came up upon the other Jeep, and there was nobody in the Jeep. And the guide had said, don't get out of the Jeep. Never get out of the Jeep. And all of a sudden we come to the Jeep and the other one's empty. So we go to try to find them, and they're in there, and there's three cheetahs that were chomping down on an impala that they had just taken down. And we were maybe 30 feet away from them while they were eating their supper.
Don't disturb them.
But, you know, they had just worked for their dinner. They're not going to come after us because we're not as tasty as an impala anyways. And they'd already worked for it, so they don't need us. So they were already
How do
busy
you know
eating.
you're not as tasty? Did the cheetah tell you?
That's what the guides told us. And then we came to an intersection of the road, and there was a lion laying right at the corner of the intersection. So we sat there for a few minutes. Then another lion comes out of the bush and starts playing with that lion. Then another lion piles up on top of it, and there's three lions standing there, but again, about 30 feet away from us, just having this lion pile and playing with each other. And then they start to peel off and go in different directions. It's like, really?
Wow.
We just watch lions play.
Wow. That's amazing.
It really is. And just the people, it really is. It gives you a better appreciation of everything when you come back from that. It really does.
Wow. And have you ever did you ever plan trips around mega events, gig events, things like that? Has anybody asked you ever to do that?
It's hard to do that, only because, you know, not a lot of people have that much time. So if you do them around, you know, particularly Geo Woodstock, somebody had asked me why don't you do Alaska around it? But trying to get people that can do all that time to go away and then do that makes it difficult. Right. But I'm open. You know, if somebody has an idea, I'm open to listening and helping them put it together. It's what I'm here for. It's my mission in life.
And I am so jealous of your mission. So you get actual, like, I heard you say to Chad, I may pick your brain. Do you literally do that to people? Do you talk to people who have been there? Like, where do you get your research? How do you figure out what's the best places to go, where to go? Do you pick cashier's brains or people's brains who have been there? Do you research online? Do you, just from your job as a travel agent, do you know? What is that? How does all that come into play?
As a travel agent, I do know places to travel. I mean, that is also part of my job, is to know the world. And a lot of it is just places that I really just want to go see and think other people would enjoy seeing them after I've seen presentations on the destinations. Like, wow, that would be, and then I'll look at the geocaching website and see what the possibilities are for geocaching along with it. And then, make that decision whether it's a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't say that there's a lot of geocaches in the Galapagos, but I wanted to go there.
Right.
And
Well,
all the other geocaches
you
do
get
too.
you get to check off two things. One, been to the Galapagos. Two, got a geocache in the Galapagos. So
Absolutely. And even up on Machu Picchu, there's one up there.
yeah, yes.
But, and that's what it is. I mean, ask them and, build it and they will come.
And she has said she has not updated the website. The website is not updated for 2022 yet. So
I sent all the information over to my web designer yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be updated, and I would say look at it next week, and it'll all be updated to what I've got going right now and my plans for next year. And as I said, people reach out to me, and if there's something that's on your bucket list, let me know, and I'll see if it's a fit.
Amazing. Jess, you have a question? I saw you threw a question in the notes.
Well, right now I was just going to ask if Scott's a web designer. Could he like barter for going on some trips and taking his wife along?
Well, let me see what happens with my current web designer. How long he's going to be continuing. He put a lot of work into it. He was actually very excited about my website because normally he just does regular tour travel agent websites. So when I told him about the geocaching aspect of it, he's like, "Wow, this is interesting." And
yeah,
Right.
he got very interested. I poked his creative juices to get it done. So.
Sweet.
Jess, what was your question though? Other than that,
no, that was my question. No, I mean, what's the largest group that you've taken on a trip, and where did you go?
My largest group was 60 people, and we did Alaska, and I will never ever do it again.
60 people.
Well, you'll never do Alaska again, or 60 people.
60 people.
Wow.
Now I don't.
Oh,
30
That's like
is.
herding cats, right?
Have you ever seen that video? If you haven't seen that
I
video,
haven't seen the video.
YouTube it. Herding cats, and that is my life. I am not lying.
Oh yeah.
You have to YouTube it. I'm serious.
Okay.
Promise me you'll do it. You'll
I
laugh
will.
hysterically. But that is my
Herding
life. And that's geocachers. I mean, geocachers are used to being very independent. And,
Right.
you've got some going over here because they need to go to the bathroom, and you've got others over here going because they want to get that cache. And these others are going over there because they want to get that cache.
Yeah.
And then those people want to go shopping.
60
it's like-
people. That's insane.
Oh
That's
yeah.
insane.
So what do you
That's-
typically cap your trips at now, or does it depend if it's
30 is a max.
30
And
is
what I do with those is I will break them into two groups. I'll do my avid cachers and then my not so avid cachers. There's a lot of people that just really want to go and get a few along the way. They really just want to go get the highlights, but also be able to check off the country box.
Mhm.
And then there's others that it's not enough. So I try to break it. And there's a lot of the people on my tours that are very, very, very well traveled. I've got some that have been on 12, 13, 14 of my trips.
wow.
And they're very well traveled. So when you take them to another castle or a cathedral or a garden, it's like, oh no, not another castle. It's a terrible problem, I know, but it does happen.
Right.
So if someone does go on your trip, if you go on your tour, so I have to go on your tour. Like I can't go off on my own and go cache for the day. I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to go to the castle.
Yes, you can.
I'm just going to go cache for a few hours. Is that okay? And I'll meet you back at the hotel. Can I do that?
Depends on the tour. It really depends on the tour. If we're staying in one place, and just go, using it as a spoke, that's fine. Or if we're on a cruise ship and you want to get off and you just want to go to the day at the beach, or you want to go do caching and you want to go get the number 5, the 5 terrain,
Mhm.
yes, by all means, you're not obliged to go on my trips. You can pick optional. Each day has a different price, and you can pick and choose. Most go with them all, but but that doesn't have to be that way.
I'm just curious if that was the option. If the option was there or not. That's all.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you say 60 people, I mean, yeah, like, I mean, you got people just, you know, like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, I
like-
assign everybody numbers, and you get in the bus, and
They
everybody.
give them air tags. They got to tag them like your animal. Air tag them. You gotta
Oh yeah,
do.
it's funny. The guides love me. The guides actually enjoy my trips because they don't do this. So when we go to them and we've got this unique thing that we're doing, it's like it's something different for them too. So they really get into it. We usually let them find a few on their own, and
Oh, nice.
we're spreading the geocaching seeds all over the world.
Right.
For lack of a better term. And your clientele, you've mentioned your clientele on numerous occasions. So I'm going to bring it up. Are they mostly U.S. based? Where are they mostly?
U.S. and Canada, and I have had occasional people from Australia, and I've had some from the Netherlands and England, but most of them are from the U.S. and Canada.
Mhm.
I've got a big contingent from Canada, up from
And
British Columbia area.
And so, how does that work exactly? Like, so say I'm going to bring it up Bermuda. I'm going to bring it up. So, where do you have a meeting? Where do you get everybody together? You
Well,
know, I mean,
at the departure port, usually at the departure port, we'll meet. That one's departing out of Boston. So everybody fly into Boston, and
flies
we'll
into
meet you in
Boston,
Boston.
you just
and
meet.
we go
You just- okay, you just have a meeting place. Okay.
Yeah, and then we fly from we'll cruise from Boston. If it's say we're going to Europe, sometimes we'll meet, maybe in Boston again, and then go across the pond from there, or just meet at the destination location. Copenhagen for that first one, we'd meet in Copenhagen, or no, Amsterdam for that one. So, but usually they're traveling with other people, or if they don't feel comfortable. A lot of these people have become friends. By the time we're done with a trip, after you've been together for 2 weeks, you're friends and family. You're reaching across the table, eating each other's food, and well, maybe before COVID it was, but not anymore. Pre-COVID. But we're all friends now, and when I say I'm going someplace, everyone say, "Yep, sign me up. We're just going." And most of my clientele are retired, so they've got the time and they've got the funds.
Time and the money. Yeah, time and money.
Yep. And
Someday. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. And so I'm assuming, have you ever had children? I mean, like 6 to 8 years old on one of your trips? Or is
the
it more-
youngest, not typically. The youngest one I had, I think, was 14. Not typically, because usually my trips are. I don't have a lot of summer trips, although this one I did. I was supposed to have some kids, but that one they dropped off. But most of them are older, not very many children. But it doesn't mean that it can't be done. I mean, if your kids don't mind being around older people, it's always a possibility. But
did you ever lose anybody?
no. Well,
It's out of
Did you
curiosity.
ever want to lose anybody?
Did you ever like, where's Joe? Anyone see Joe?
yeah, actually, we did one gentleman, Tom. We lost Tom, and but fortunately, he was found. But we scoured. We were in Estonia, and we scoured the village area, and nowhere to be found. And we had to get back to the port. So we went back to the port, and he was sitting on a bench right outside by the ship.
Of course he was.
He didn't have a cell phone. He didn't have, no way to communicate. And we were just panicked. It was just, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I had one gentleman that we're driving on a bus from Lucerne, Switzerland to Austria. And all of a sudden he hands me a note saying, I left my passport in the hotel safe. He said, what should we do? And I said, sit down. I'll be with you in a moment. And I'm like, oh. So I talked to the guide and the bus driver, and we put him on a train back to Zurich. And we said, we'll meet you in Austria. And he made it. He got there in time for dinner. But you just solve it. You figure it out.
Yep.
It's an adventure.
Wow.
Thus, geocaching
That's why it's
adventure.
called.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it all inclusive? Well, how much of it is all inclusive? Like you're paying for, like you say, I'm paying for the trip. Does not include meals? I'm assuming does not include
Most of the
airfare?
time, most meals.
Oh, it
But
does
if
not.
you're most meals it does, but if we're going like say it's a cruise. Have you ever been on a cruise?
I have, yes.
Okay. Well, you know that the cruises are included in the cruise line, but when you're off the ship, your meals
Yeah,
are
you
not
pay for your
included.
stuff, of
So
course.
if we stop someplace halfway through the day to grab some lunch, you're going to pay for that lunch.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's
Okay.
stuff like that. You know,
Mhm.
or if we're going to do
Right.
a specialty, you know, everyone wants to go to dinner and get some local fare,
Sure.
that
Sure.
would be that would not be included.
Of course.
And if there's stuff that's not included, I'll usually put a dollar sign next to it and say bring extra cash to do that. Or if you
Mhm.
don't want to do it, you don't need to do it. You can either stay
Right.
or do something else.
But I'm assuming if you have to pay to go somewhere, like pay to go into to go into a cast house.
Museum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's
a
taking
museum. Yeah,
taking
I'm
you
assuming
to
that's
a
paid for.
council,
I'm assuming that's
museum,
paid for
whatever.
already.
Yeah.
Is that paid for with your trip?
Depends. It depends. Again, it would be detailed whether it is or it isn't.
Oh,
Some guides don't want to prepay it and they want to do it there. And that's usually the better way of doing it, just in
Mhm.
case somebody decides at the last minute that they don't, because it's not refundable. So, but if it's included, it'll be detailed that it's included. And if it's not, the amount will be given to you to plan on it accordingly. There's no surprises, you know,
Mhm.
typically.
Mhm.
You know what you're paying for and what you're not paying for.
Right. The gratuity is the biggest stumbling block. I haven't quite figured out how to manage the gratuities because everybody wants to prepay it, but I don't really feel like walking around with a wad of $2,000 in my pocket either. So, so
And so running the whole thing, is
Mhm.
it stressful for you? Does it ever get easy? Is it old hat now? Is it like, you know what, I take everything with a grain of salt and I let it go and it rolls off my back, or are you panicked the entire time?
no, that's not my nature. To be panicked. I've been doing organizing events and stuff like this for most of my career. So, you know, there are moments where you get a little anxious, but you know, never let them see you sweat.
Have you ever had one just go horribly wrong where you just couldn't win any way, shape, or form?
The 60 to Alaska.
The same-
Yeah, because what ends up happening with that too is you start getting clicky and you get people that start to go and
Or
then
getting
nothing
ready.
you do is going to be right and it just becomes poison and it
Right.
starts spreading and that was nightmarish. Yeah. Never again.
Right?
I
But
like
usually,
my favorites are about 12 people. 12 to 16 people is my favorites groups.
yeah, that seems pretty. Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
That's what I would assume. That seems pretty reasonable. I mean, that seems like something you could wrangle. 12
Right.
people.
Right.
It seems wrangleable. That's
Right.
that's
And it's easy to count 12 to 16. It's harder to count.
yeah. You got 30. I mean, that's a
30.
lot of
Right.
people, man.
Again, everybody's got a number tattooed right here.
Oh, that's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of people. Wow. Fantastic. Chad, any other questions for Denise? I could talk to her all night. So but I'm just rattling off questions to her. It's my morbid curiosity.
No, I think you've hit pretty much everything that I was thinking about.
Mhm.
But
It's
really,
an
watch
amazing.
the
It's amazing. It's amazing. So you're talking about the commercial herding cats? Is that what that? Yeah.
yeah.
That was a Super Bowl commercial back in like
Oh, it's
2003
been out there for a
or
while.
something,
Mhm.
or something like that. Oh yeah, I love that one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That is
I
my
think
life.
that's where the term became popularized, herding cats, and but I mean, even when I've so when I go on these geocaching adventures to megas and stuff, I tend to be the organizer. So I know a little bit about what you do there, and even with 8 to 10 people, it can be a bit of herding cats
Mhm.
because everyone
Mhm.
has their own little thing that they want to do and get done and stuff, and it's like, okay, you got to bring everything together. Okay, we got a plan. We need to stick to the plan, or else it just completely unravels.
Right.
Mhm.
No, I mean, fortunately, I've got them well trained. You know,
You lay down the law.
Got a laser pointer.
At the very beginning, do you lay down the law?
I do. I mean, I'm not bad about it, but you know, I do let them know that we're not on this trip alone. I mean, they are not on this trip alone. That there's a lot of other people, and
Right.
everything that they do influences what happens with other people. So I just ask people to be considerate of it. You know, it's
Yep.
that's all you can do.
Do you ever organize a trip in the lower 48 states?
It's on my bucket list to do. It really is. I wanted to do the Four Cornered states, and I was actually thinking about doing the New England, a New England challenge to all the
Just done
5
that.
states.
We just did that.
Yeah,
We-
Scott and I
did
just
you?
did that in November. Yeah,
November. We did 10 states in how many days? 3 days? It
like 3
Nice.
days. Yeah.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
was
So
fun.
that's on my list of things that I want to do. Again, there's only so many in the year, and I was just so busy before, so that'll probably come up sooner than later. Again, maybe for 2023.
Denise,
Hmm.
I love the fact you're doing what you do. I'm
Well, thank you.
super jealous of you doing what you do. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Geocaching Adventures LLC.com, guys. That is where you want to go if you want to talk to Denise. I'm assuming they can get a hold of you there.
Absolutely.
What is your Facebook page? Pimp out all your stuff. Go ahead and give them.
My Facebook page is the same, Geocaching Adventures LLC.
Okay.
So you can either get me on my Facebook page or on my website. And either way, it'll come back to me. Or call me, 603-459-8238.
Oh, just putting a number out there. Oh, Denise, you know what you're doing.
It's my office phone number. Of course I have to put it. They'll get it on my website anyways.
All right. And guys, next week you can go to her website and see exactly what trips she's planning for 2022. I'm assuming your space available for all of them, so except maybe the closest is space available for all of them. Someone wants
The
to.
the Baltic is almost pretty well full. I think I have space for 2 more people. Brazil, I have space for 4.
Mhm.
There's still space on the Barbados, the Southern Caribbean one, and the Bermuda one. I'm actually looking for some people for Bermuda. Come to Bermuda. It's an amazing island. It's my favorite island of all the islands. It really is.
It is. I'm sure. It is.
So on the Baltic one, is it like Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Russia? Okay.
We're 2 days in Russia, so pray for peace for more reasons.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of hanging over our head now. We'll be through COVID, but now we'll be at war.
Now you got a war. Yeah, you deal with a war.
So hopefully, I'm optimistic that Putin's just playing games there. So we'll hopefully.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, in Galapagos, I've only got 16 people maximum on that one, and I've got 10 on that one already. So that one's. In the Mediterranean, I have space for 8. That's for next year. I've already only got space for 8 on that one. So that's 13 nights to the Mediterranean.
13 nights in the Mediterranean, Jess.
So when is the Galapagos?
The Galapagos will be June 16th.
June 16th.
I believe is the date. And we're going to do an add-on on that one to the Amazon River.
Oh, yeah. Why not? You're there.
You're there.
Yeah, why not?
Well.
You're there.
Mhm.
Go for it. Why not?
Check the box for another country.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
So
Crazy, Chad. Chad, this
It's-
is like made for you.
I know.
it's the hardest job I'll ever love. You know?
Oh, you don't even work. Don't even say you have a job. You don't have a job.
Oh, it's still work.
It's a
Yeah,
lot, but very rewarding as
Rewarding
well.
work.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Man, I want your job. I never say that to people. Wow.
Well, ask the people that go on the trips with me if they want my job. They want my job because they get to go places, but they see what we
Just
have
get paid
to do
the
to get
cash.
done.
Yeah, you get paid the geocache and you
And
like
travel.
and travel. And
Right.
yeah, and I'm sure it's hard work. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely respect what you do. But like
you.
that's wow, what a great it's a great life. You've seen everything, you know. Oh, just about. What haven't you seen, Denise? What haven't
I
you seen?
have actually Asia. I haven't done Asia is going to be for 2023. It's another one that's on the
Wow.
list, but I'm kind of just waiting to see what's going to happen there. But that is another one. And the Panama Canal. I haven't done the Panama Canal yet. So
Okay.
I can't believe you haven't done
Greenland.
Asia.
I haven't done Greenland either.
I can't
Or the
believe you haven't
Asian.
done Asia yet. I'm surprised you haven't done
No.
Asia yet.
In Panama.
No.
That's awesome.
Well, I've done
Denise-
Dubai. Dubai counts, I guess. But
Denise, you are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
well, thank you. I
The
appreciate
chat room
it.
is absolutely in love with you. They are all frothing at the mouth. I don't know if you've been reading comments, but they're
No, I haven't. It's
you can
kind
go
of
back. You can
No,
go
you can
back.
you can go back and look at the comments on YouTube. They are all just saying how much this has inspired them to travel, and they're all
it's there, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you, we did the Four Cornered States, Alamogel, Carba One, and I forgot the other person. It's terrible, but we went around that area. We did adventure labs around like Route 66 and
Okay.
stuff.
Mhm.
If you haven't done that yet, that is awesome too. Yeah, adventure labs are my new favorite things.
So if do you take a trip to like Texas, or is that like I'm not going to Texas? Why would I go to Texas? Your trips are so crazy. Do you ever take like a normal trip?
What would be
Like
normal?
a normal, like a normal, like
yeah,
I'm gonna go to Florida for a week. You know, like-
Well, right now I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we just went down to Florida and we geocached down that area and came back up. Yeah, yes, I do.
Okay, good. That's what
And
makes you do normal
and
trips, not just
no,
to the
I mean,
Galapagos Islands. Is like you're here.
But the thing is about though is that the United States has just as many wonderful things.
Oh,
People
yeah.
come from around the world to come to see us, and we
Yes.
take it for granted because it's here. But there's amazing things here. If you haven't done the Four Cornered States area, Utah is absolutely amazing.
yes.
Arizona,
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Colorado, and
I was just out there at Christmas, and
nice.
it like spoke to my soul. It's just such beautiful country out there.
Absolutely. So I mean, there are wonderful things in the United States. And again, if anybody has a bucket list, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to put something together. As long as we get the people to do it, build it, they will come.
Yep.
Denise, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really,
Well,
really.
thanks for
appreciate it.
inviting me. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. It's been eye opening. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You hang on, okay? Hold on one second. Hang on.
Okay.
Chad.
Yes, sir.
So Jesse, I didn't even notice you had more stuff in the news because it was on the next page, which I didn't scroll down.
We had so much news
Yes.
it
It
spilled
literally
over to the
scrolled
next page.
I'll go through it really quickly. Shorty, tell Chad what you got that I didn't.
So what were we griping about? Was it last week or the week before that we were
Week
griping about
before, I
all
think,
these
yeah.
new every promotion? We never get picked.
No,
Guess.
it was last week because it was on Cash or Coffee,
Guess
and you got
who
picked
got
for
picked for a SpongeBob.
Bob.
I think it's like the third one I've ever gotten. So
Wow.
I'm excited. I'm gonna have
I
to
didn't
pick
get a
something
SpongeBob
fun to attach it to. So
So did you get an email from geocaching.com today?
Today, yes, I did.
So yeah, for people that don't know, round 3 of virtual rewards are coming out. So you can sign up now for round 3 virtual
When are
rewards.
those coming out? Jesse, how many we have
Yeah.
left to do? How
Yeah,
many?
so I said to Scott, I was super excited about it, and then I went, wait, that means we have to finish the Illinois virtual challenge. We're down.
So
I mean,
close.
we've been sitting at like 10 for 2 years.
We
and I
were
don't know
sitting
why
at like 2. We were sitting at like 2 until
we
the
were
virtual
sitting at
2.0
2
came out.
until right. Yeah.
And they gave everybody in Illinois a free virtual except for me and
Right.
Jesse. And
Right.
like they all put them out. And so
So-
we have to go get them again.
So yeah, you better
Yeah.
hurry up
So
and,
we gotta
and
go.
finish them out.
We got to
this
go get a whole
through
bunch.
the
We
room.
actually have a free weekend this weekend. We might go.
And the
we
worst
might go
part
work
is
on that.
one we neither of us have. I know we're gonna get lambasted for this. On top of the
The Sears Tower.
Sears Tower.
Yeah.
We do not. I live in Chicago. I haven't been up. The only time I've ever been up at the top of the Sears Tower is when I was a kid on a
I
field
was
trip.
up there maybe 11 or 12 years ago, and I was a cashier at the time, but I don't know, for some reason I just didn't. I mean, I have a picture of me up there, and I was
Same.
cashing since, so I don't know.
Well, it costs money
Anyway,
to go up there.
I know.
I think it's been about 30 years since I've been up there.
I'll watch. I'll
That's
check
been about
for a
40
Groupon.
years since I've more than 40.
I think I put it this way. I think it was still called the Sears Tower when I
It's
when I went
always
up
been
there.
called the Sears Tower, Chad. Always.
So you
Okay,
haven't been
yeah,
out on the
officially.
I think
ledge.
Gen Xer will
No,
tell you.
I haven't been out on the ledge.
That ledge is kind of scary.
I've never been on the ledge either. That was
Yeah.
before my time. And then I got one more thing: snag the tag update. I don't know who put that in there. Is that you, Chad?
Awesome,
Yeah,
Chad.
that was just my snag the tag. I got
Okay.
the-
There you go.
sorry.
There you go. Oh, sadly, you can't get a virtual 3 reward if you have already placed a virtual reward in the past.
Correct. So that's going to narrow
Really?
the
Good.
people who are eligible.
Luckily, then maybe less people in Illinois will actually get it. Maybe we'll get
Maybe.
one, Jess. We got
Maybe I'll finally get one.
Maybe I'll finally get one. I don't know where I'm going to put it. But... All right, guys. Denise, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I had you on the show. That's awesome. So they can't hear you. You're on mute. I'm just letting you know. Next week, Chad, guess what? We've been talking
What's
about
that?
this for weeks, months, and now it's finally going to happen, Chad. First of all, this whole month we have guests this whole month. The rest of the month, guests.
Yes.
I love it. Chad, next week we're having
Mhm.
NP Glenn on the show and Lori Bird. Do you know who Lori Bird is? Jesse does. NP
No,
Glenn
I don't.
I
and
do.
Lori Bird.
I have
Any-
watched.
Any,
I have a.
any relation to Larry Bird?
Or nor Big Bird either. No.
I have a
Okay.
particular cache on my watch list that is constantly. There are notes written by Lori Bird quite a bit.
Yes.
Oh,
Chad, we are
from your area.
No, she is not. We are talking about the cache across America. Lori
Ooh.
Bird is one of the. Actually, she's not a creator. I think she's just an admin for the Cache Across America. And we've got MP Glenn, who has actually finished the Cache Across America, Chad. Our own NP Glenn, who's in the chat room all the time. He might be there now. He's actually done it, Chad. He's done. I've seen the patch. He's got a patch on his vest. Chad.
So how many caches is that? Is that
It's 50, Chad.
It's a 50. Is it one for every state?
Genius.
Mhm.
Yes.
There's one in each state, and then there's
I didn't know if there was
qualify
a
for that.
I didn't know if there was like an extra one for.
Well, there's the
DC
bonus.
Or
I'll tell you. Well, no, I can't tell you because the bookmark list that I have actually has ones that have been archived, like historical ones.
Yes.
But there's 85 in the bookmark list, but quite a few of them have been archived.
Yeah, but then
Mhm.
they add a new one. If like
Right, and then they've added a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's 50-ish.
Yeah.
We'll say
We'll
plus
talk
the
about it next
final.
week. We'll find out next week.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
We're gonna have the admin and somebody who
Okay.
solved it on next week. That is next week's show, Chad. It's gonna be fun. So I am totally stoked about Cache Across America. Now, like I really, really want to do this. That's like now on my radar.
I gotta retire first.
I know.
Sorry.
I know. 17 years, almost there. So that's next week's show, Chad.
One lottery ticket away.
Here we go. Let's close this bad boy up. Hold on a second. Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archive video versions of our podcast are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on your favorite podcatcher. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show live, make sure you click the subscribe or get notified button to know exactly when we do go live. And hey, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you get a ton of additional information, extra audio, extra video, only available to our patron members. Please head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/The Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cachly, Logwork, FDF Geocacher Magazine, the Max Suds Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Arted Crafted, and PathTags.com. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week, so we'll see you next week talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones. We will talk to you guys next week. And we're clear. There we go. All right, let me. All right, Denise, you're off. You're off.
Well,
mute.
thank you for that.
let me get off the air here. We're still on the air. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Even though chat was no show, I want to thank everybody who was in the chat room last Saturday night working on that puzzle that Chad has no idea what we went through. So we appreciate it very much. We appreciate it very much. It was a lot of fun. We're waiting for another door to open. So when we do, we'll let you know. So everybody be well and be safe. And we'll talk to you guys next Wednesday. So bye-bye.
Thank you.